So before we get started with New World today, what I want to do is I'm going to go through my Game Award nominee picks. We're going to talk about them because I have some controversy on the very first one. So I want to talk about them, and we're just going to go through each one, do my picks, go ahead and vote, and, move on from there. Anyway, in our very first category, which is Game of the Year, which is the biggest one, I have an issue. I have a big issue. And the issue is Shadow of Erdtree right here. I do not believe it should be nominated. If you want to start putting in DLCs in Game of the Year, then make a category Best DLC of the Year. Just make it that simple. I don't know why we need to have its own category for DLCs. If the game is completely reinvented, then maybe, but it's not reinvented. This is literally the exact same game, but just with additional content. It doesn't change the whole game. You know, it just adds new content. Anyway, so what I believe is the best game, in my opinion, is Astrobot. So I think that Astrobot should be Game of the Year for a couple of reasons. One, it's kind of open to everyone. It's good for anyone, and it's a really fun game. Now, the rest of these I do believe are fantastic games. I personally think that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was amazing. I loved it. I would love for it to be Game of the Year. However, I just feel like it's one of those games that's going for a specific audience, whereas Astrobot is open to literally everyone. So that's why I'm voting for Astrobot. Same with the other games. Like, I think they're kind of specific. I believe that Metaphor is too much of a niche audience. I think it's a fantastic game, and I'm glad that it's nominated, but I do believe that it's too much of a niche audience. Not everyone likes RPGs, especially when it becomes like turn-based RPGs, and all. Not everybody likes that kind of stuff, and I totally get that. So I think it's too much of a niche audience. I do think that Black Myth Wukong, fantastic game. I actually never played Balatro. I never played this, so I can't comment on that, unfortunately. I didn't play it. Sorry. But I do believe that a game that could be replacing Elden Ring would be like Alan Wake 2. That's just to throw something out there. So that's my opinion on that. We're going to go Astrobot for Game of the Year. And we're going to go to the next category. Best Game Direction. Again, the same games. Like, are you kidding me? We couldn't come up with other games. I'm going to probably say, though, in this situation, we're going to go with Final Fantasy. I think it was best game direction and design. I really enjoyed the combat in it. I enjoyed a lot of things about Final Fantasy. So we're gonna go Final Fantasy with that one. I'm not going to talk about each one of these individually that much because of it's just going to make the video super duper crazy long. I think Silent Hill 2 should not be nominated again because it is. Again, it's not a new game. It's a remade game. Now, if they want to do a full remake, then yes, sure, that could be something. Because I think that Final Fantasy Rebirth, that is a complete remake of a game, whereas I believe Silent Hill is they're just, what's the word for it? I can't remember. I can't think. It's just redesigning it, updating it, whatever. That's what they're doing with that. I'm sure you're coming up with all the words for that, and you're like, what a dum-dum. He can't think of the word. It's so stupid. For outsourcing storytelling, narrative development in game, again, I'm going to say Final Fantasy VII. I personally feel like this was one of the best games I have played in a long time. I loved Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth. I think those are great. So let's move on. Best art direction. Ooh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I personally, in this situation, I'm going to say Metaphor Refantasio. The reason for that is because it's a different type of art. It's not trying to do realistic stuff, but they updated the genre a little bit and they just made it look better. I really liked the art in Metaphor. I believe that Black Myth Wukong looks amazing. It looks visually fantastic. However, a lot of companies do that, right? They try to make things look realistic but still beautiful, which I'm not saying this is not. I don't think that Astrobot is an artsy game. I think it's just a fun game to play. And then Shadow of Erdtree, again, DLC. Don't think it should be in there. They created this a year ago, not now. Like, come on. So we're going to go with Metaphor on that one. I don't really like these kind of games personally. That's why I'm not going to choose that one. But those kind of things like Journey and that kind of stuff, just not my thing. Best score for music. Ooh. That's a tough one. We're gonna go though. I really liked Metaphor, especially the combat music. I just like the way they did it. But it wasn't a lot of the music that is good. I think that Final Fantasy and Metaphor, man, I'm just really leaning hard on Final Fantasy. I just think it was a fantastic game. So it's hard. That's a tough one. That's a tough one for me. Astrobot is out for me, I think. Stellar Blade, out for me. Silent Hill. I mean, I would say that maybe the sound in it. I don't know. I didn't think the music. I think it's between these two. Whew, that's a tough one. That's a real tough one for me. I'm gonna go with Metaphor just because of the battle music. I really like the way that they did that battle music in there. And I think that there was a thing going around that says that they should have the person that created that music play live at the Game Awards. And I think it's a fantastic idea. Best audio. Ooh, best audio. I honestly think, and this is going to sound weird to a lot of people that know me, is that choosing a first-person shooter game for best audio and sound design, because these kind of games are built around sound. First-person shooters, especially competitive sides of first-person shooters, are very much built around sound. You have to listen to where the enemies are and all that kind of stuff, and I think they do a good job. I would also say that maybe Silent Hill is another one of best all-around sound. Yeah, you think so too, Bubbles, that Call of Duty has some great audio and you don't like Call of Duty? I mean, I agree. I'm not a big Call of Duty person. I'm not a first-person shooter. I'm not a competitive gamer usually, but I think that Call of Duty might win it out. I do think Silent Hill's good because you do have those sound cues. I can't really say that Final Fantasy had the best sound design, so I'm not going to go with that. It just had some really good music in it. We're gonna go with Call of Duty. I'm gonna have to choose it. I have to. It has great sound design. Best performance. So let's see. This is Brianna White from Final Fantasy Rebirth. Okay, let me see who. Oh, this is a tough one. I'm gonna have to go with who. Life is Strange. I always think that Life is Strange games, have great voiceovers. And I can't say that Silent Hill 2, I can't say that just jumped out at me. We're going to go with Life is Strange. I'm going to go Life is Strange. Senua is so good. I'm sure it is. I'm going to have to say I haven't played it. So I don't know enough about that one. Well, I'm going to go Life is Strange. With Hannah Tell here. We're going to go Life is Strange. Next up, innovation in accessibility. Ooh, I love this category, and I don't even need it. Like, it's not for me. Like, I play games the way that the developers design them. I don't need the accessibility, but I do love to check the accessibility in games. So Diablo, yes. You agree, Bubbles? You agree as someone who used it? I think Diablo did a fantastic job with accessibility. You can make that cursor huge. You can make everything glow. You can do all sorts of color changes. I think Diablo was fantastic when it came to accessibility. And I said that like as soon as it released. So I'm going to go with Diablo on this. It was great. And I love seeing that in games. And I think we need more of that in games because there's so many gamers out there that cannot experience the games because they cannot play them. They physically can't play them. They can't see the things on the screen because of color blindness or whatever. There's so many things out there that prevent people from seeing and playing a fantastic game that we need more accessibility options. I'm going to say Diablo. And hopefully we get more of that in the future. So let's keep going here. I'm trying to go through these quickly because there are 29 different categories. Games for impact. For a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. I'm going to say Indica because, yeah. Or Life is Strange. Like that's also another big one to me. I think Life is Strange probably will hit more people. And more people can associate with it. And I think that's why we're going to go with Life is Strange. Indica or however you pronounce it, it's a cool game. It's a really cool game. But the issue that I have with it is that it's too niche for some people. Some people won't understand it. It's out there in some ways. So we're going to go Life is Strange because it's a thought-provoking game that a lot of people, especially younger audience, can get into. That's what I've always liked about the Life is Strange games is that the younger audience can play them and get into them. Oh, sorry, I need a little bit of water there. My throat's getting dry. So we're going to go Life is Strange. Next category. Best ongoing game. Okay, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is where Shadow of Erdtree could come into play. It's not even a nominee here. Why is it not a nominee here? Like that's crazy to me. Crazy. Anyway, so Helldivers is nuts. I like Helldivers. I think it's fantastic. And a lot of people love it. Fortnite, I have a love-hate relationship with Fortnite. Right? A love-hate relationship. Destiny 2 is, in my opinion, on its way out. So I'm going to say no to Destiny 2. Helldivers 2 is nuts in a bad way, you think? Okay. Diablo 4, I'm going to say, has made amazing strides this year. And it's now in a place that I think it's fantastic. I really do think the game started out fun and amazing. And then first season was okay. Second season was really good. It's like, okay, we're making some differences. Third season, absolute flop. Fourth season, slightly better. Fifth season was a huge jump forward. Huge jump. So I really do think that Diablo should be nominated because they're doing things with it. But I have to say that I do think that Fortnite has been doing it for years. They have been innovative in games for so long. Final Fantasy XIV, this DLC that they came out with, this last expansion, was just like, okay, really? I mean, I know they have to reset the story, but I just disagree. Like, I think that they just went the wrong way with it. I think that Fortnite is the best ongoing game. Yeah, it's free. Exactly. It's a free game, and they constantly are doing very innovative things and constantly making changes. And I like I said, I have a love-hate relationship with Fortnite. I love Fortnite because it's what my channel grew on. I didn't even play Fortnite Battle Royale. I played Fortnite Save the World, and I had a blast playing it, and I'm really upset with them for ruining my game and taking it away and not continuing to develop it. So, but I am going to have to vote for them because I do think that they're very innovative going forward. I agree. I think Helldivers really upset a lot of people. I think Helldivers is, I mean, it's a fun game, but yeah, I think there's too many issues there to be able to go with that one. Best community support. Honestly, wow, No Man's Sky being nominated there. I'm going to go with No Man's Sky or Baldur's Gate, just right off the bat here. Those are the two that have the best community support. The reason I believe that, so this isn't like, people that support the game for like patches or not patches, for like mods and stuff. This to me is recognize the game for outstanding community support, transparency, responsiveness, all that kind of, and inclusive social media, all that kind of stuff. That's what it is. So it's about the player base being out there and enjoying the outside of the game stuff. And I think that Baldur's Gate and No Man's Sky are fantastic for that. I'm actually going to say It wasn't always this way. Yeah, No Man's Sky was not always this way, and that's why I think I'm going to go No Man's Sky. I do think that Baldur's Gate's fantastic. I love it, and I think the community for it's fantastic because it's got that D&D following behind it, and it also has, with Larian Studios, the oh my God, Divinity. People that love Divinity. It's got all those people behind it that are just constantly just out there and talking about the game. But I'm going to say No Man's Sky because this game has come so far from when it originally came out, and I mean that was years ago. That was so long ago, and I made some comments about it back then. I was like, this game's going to be amazing, and I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong. But that's because they fed me the information that the game was going to be different than what was released. But the developers have done a fantastic job with No Man's Sky and continue to add to it for free, by the way. Like, you buy the game and all these additions to the game, they just keep coming out with new stuff. Like, it's just crazy to me. But the community in this game has done some amazing things. They come together and they build entire cities on planets. It's fantastic. I love it. So I'm going to go with No Man's Sky on that category. Next up, best indie game. Ooh, I love indie games. I don't think I played all of these though, so that's going to be tough for me. For outstanding creative and technical achievement in a game made outside the traditional publisher system. I haven't played any of these. I'm going to be honest. I haven't played any of these. And I usually play quite a bit of indie games. UFO 50, is that what you think? Balatro, okay. This was nominated for Game of the Year. I haven't played it, so I couldn't say anything about that. But UFO 50 set a bar, and it's amazing. Then we'll go with that one. I will defer to chat on that. We'll go with this because I haven't played them, and I don't want to. Yeah. Can you just skip a category? I guess you probably can, but we're gonna choose this one. I'll defer to chat. Best debut indie game. Again, Manor Lords is up here. I don't know. Is Mez in chat? He thought Manor Lords looked good. Pacific Drive was an interesting game. I did play this one, and it was an interesting game, but I don't think that I would choose that one. Pacific Drive was a lot of fun. It was, but I just, for something about that game just kind of made me feel like, I just don't really want to keep going with it. We'll go with this again. Balatro again. Again, deferring to chat. Best mobile game. I do play a few mobile games. The Pokemon trading card game is the one that jumps out at me immediately. This one right here. So we're going to go Pokemon trading card game Pocket. Yeah, we're going to do that. I didn't even know that Balatro was a mobile game. Best VR or AR game. Ooh. Probably Batman, dude. This Batman game looks so good. No, why not? What? I'm biased. You have an addiction to trading card games. I love trading card games. I'm into Lorcana right now. That's my game of choice. Metro games are always fun. I love those. I'm going to say Batman. You're addicted to Pocket Pokemon game? Are you? Uh-oh. I'm going to say Batman on this for the best VR, AR game. I don't play a lot of these. I don't have an actual VR system for my PC. I had one for my PlayStation, but there's just not enough. But this Batman game, it looked amazing. Like, it looks beautiful. So we're going to go Batman. Best action game. For best action, folks, blah, 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 blah. Best action. Ooh. I honestly, maybe Black Myth Wukong. I think it was great. Like the action, the combat, like all that kind of stuff was really fun. Helldivers again, it's fun. It's fun. Warhammer 40K Space Marine. I didn't play it. Was it good? Warhammer was just testosterone. You picked that. You felt like a kid. I mean, I would only say this one because it's the only one that I really know. But if you guys really think Warhammer, I can defer. To chat for this. I'm down for that because I mean, I think all of these could have it. I don't think that that best action game should ever go to a first person shooter. They're always the same thing, in my opinion. Like, that's why I don't play a lot of them. Um, it's just all action. I'm down for all action. I love that. Helldivers is more of an online game, so like there's a lot of other things to it. We'll go with Warhammer. Let's do it. Let's do it. Best action adventure game. Ooh, Astrobot just jumps out at me and it says, "Boom!" Wait, action adventure, and they put Silent Hill in here? Are you kidding me? For the best action adventure game combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving. I will have to say that Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom had amazing puzzle solving, and I really like the game, but it doesn't have any type of combat in it whatsoever. This game, however, Astrobot, has combat, it's got some puzzle solving, it's got some platforming, it's got everything. How dare you turn your back on a Zelda game that's only above good? I mean, it's a fun game. It's a fun game, but I can't choose that one because it just doesn't have enough. Star Wars Outlaws, I think, could have been a great game, but it had too many bugs. It could have been great, but it has too many bugs. This is not an action game at all. Silent Hill, come on. It's got puzzle solving. It's got some combat in it. It's not an action game. I mean, this says action/adventure game. I can see that it being in the adventure category, maybe, but it's a horror game, and I feel like horror should get its own category, and Silent Hill should be in that category. Again, though, it's a remake, not a whatever they call it. So I'm gonna go Astrobot though for best. I loved Astrobot. I thought it was fantastic. I got 100% on it. I did literally everything there is to do in the game because I had so much fun playing it. So I'm gonna go Astrobot. People may disagree. Whatever. I don't care. Best RPG. Ooh, this is my category. This right here is my category. I love RPGs. For the best game design with a rich player base, customization, progression, including massively multiplayer experience. So none of these are massively multiplayer experiences, which is kind of weird that they would add including massive multiplayer experiences and then not give you a massively multiplayer experience. With this, I think I'm going to go with Metaphor. I think it's the best RPG, right? You put Dragon's Dogma, I would say Elden Ring, but it's an expansion. Again, yeah, I disagree with having expansions in there. I don't mind, though, expansions maybe being part of these types of categories, but not Game of the Year. Metaphor is what I'm going to go with here. It's just a fantastic game, and it's got a very cool narrative. It's got, in my opinion, fun combat, even though it's turn-based, but that's what makes RPGs to me, because I come from that era where RPGs are turn-based, like Final Fantasy. You don't like the change this year with expansions and DLCs being added? I don't either, Bubble. I don't even really like the remakes, like recreations, like Final Fantasy Rebirth and Remake. Those are complete remakes, but having Silent Hill 2, which is just an updated version of the original game. Like, it literally is the original game. There's nothing different about it. I don't think that those should be nominated. Let's see. Best fighting. For the best game design, primarily around head-to-head combat. Ooh, head-to-head combat. Let's see. This is tough. I don't play a lot of these either. DBZ, no question, or Tekken. I was going to say Tekken. That's what I was going to go with. It's like putting a Skyrim remastered, yeah. Or saying, hey, we modded, like as a community modded Skyrim, so we're going to put that as a best game of the year because they modded it. Are you kidding? At least there's enough new stuff with the mods. Like the DLCs and stuff don't add enough. I'm going to say Tekken. I've always liked Tekken games. I think they're very technical. It's kind of funny that it's a Tekken game and it's technical. But I've always liked these games because it's not just pure, rush in and do a ton of crazy moves. Tekken is always more strategic, in my opinion, when it comes to combat, and that's what I like about it. So I'm going to go Tekken. Best family game. Ooh, I love it. Best family game. The only family game in here is Mario Party Jamboree. Well, I don't know. Is this one... the Plucky Squire, is this 4-player or at least 2-player? I'm going to say Mario Party Jamboree. I have played this. I have played all of these games except for Plucky Squire. Single player, single player, single player. Like, you can't put a family game and make it single player. Like, are you kidding me? Like, those aren't family games. I think that the only family game that's really in this list, in my opinion, is Mario Party Jamboree. I do think that Astrobot is a family game in the sense that your entire family can play it. Same with Princess Peach, your entire family can play it, but you don't really play these together. I would say that maybe Zelda games are a game that you can play as a family but I think those are more like the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, because my son, for example, when those games, especially Breath of the Wild, when it first came out, he was really young. He didn't really know how to play games, but I would play, and he loved looking for things on the screen. He loved trying to help me find different things and figure out puzzles, even though he didn't really understand the puzzles. But trying to find those little, whatchamacallits, he loved it. He thought it was great. But I'm going to say Mario Party Jamboree. Although my son complains about this game, I think it's a fantastic game. He just doesn't like it because he won't give it a try. He likes Super Mario Party, the original one on the Switch, because of the games and the way that those are played. And then when the next Mario Party came out, he's like, I don't like it. And that was the Mario Party All-Stars or whatever, the remake one. But this one is basically kind of blending all those together. And I think it's a fantastic game. I love it. And it's fun to play with the family. I'm going to go Mario Party Jamboree. Best sim or strategy game. Ooh, I love sim strategy games as well. Focus in real-time or turn-based simulation or strategy gameplay. That's crazy that they don't have Metaphor on here. They don't have Metaphor. Metaphor. Unicorn Overlord. Is that what you say, Bubbles? Age of Mythology, these are always fun. Frostpunk games, I did play the original Frostpunk. I never played the second one, so I can't say much on that, but I did like Frostpunk. I heard a lot about Manor Lords. I never played it. I'll defer to you guys in chat with Unicorn on this one because I didn't really get a chance to play a lot of these. I'm kind of upset. I didn't get to play a lot of games this year, a lot of the games that I wanted to play. You like Manor Lords? Yeah, I thought you did. Okay, so best sports racing game. Ooh, sports or racing game. F1 24, EA Sports. I'm not a fan of a lot of sports games. I'm going to say tennis it can't be that great. Basketball games, I just don't really enjoy. WWE, I feel like hasn't really made enough strides. The reason I don't like the WWE games is because there's a whole controversy going on that they literally just take the animations from the previous game and put it into the new games. And I didn't like it. Just for the character customization. You liked WWE? Okay. I mean, I can see that. I'm going to have to go with one of these two. I'm going to go with the racing, like the F1 racing game. And the reason for that is because I think that the physics in this game, I think they did a really good job with making them real life physics, like that's something that in a racing game, that's what it's all about, right? I think like Forza and whatever the PlayStation version is, I can't think of it right now off the top of my head. I think that those games, they do such a good job of making the car feel like you're actually driving it, especially if you have a steering wheel and stuff. So we're going to go to the F1 game. So boom. Best multiplayer game. Ooh. I mean, I like Mario Party Jamboree. I'm going to be honest. I like Mario Party Jamboree. I know that a lot of people are going to pick some of these other things, but to me, multiplayer experience means that a lot of people can play it, right? It's all about how many people you can get to play it. I'm going to have to say Mario Party. New World's not in there. Rigged. Yeah, I'm going to say Mario Party because I love... hang on. I want to talk about this for a second. These are all M-rated games, right? Call of Duty, M-rated. Helldivers, I'm pretty sure is M-rated. Tekken, I mean, if it's not M-rated, it's going to be high teen rated. And then Warhammer, they're all M-rated games, and that's what I don't like. You're trying to make cooperative games that aren't geared towards younger audiences. That's one thing I love about Fortnite is they took a genre of game, being the shooter genre, and they made it okay for younger audiences. Like, almost anyone can play that game, and that's one thing I love about it. We're gonna go with Mario Party Jamboree because I like having the larger age group. Best adaptation. Recognize outstanding creative video game and other entertainment. So best adaptation. Fallout was fantastic. Wow. I started watching this Arcane. I started watching this. I've seen like 3 episodes and I'm liking it, but I wasn't paying attention to it enough. The animation is nuts. Is it? I didn't really get into it yet. So, but I think Fallout, I loved Fallout. I thought Fallout was fantastic. The whole series, and I cannot wait for season 2. I need to pay attention, and that's the problem with it. I watched like the first 3 episodes. I wasn't paying attention. I was like, "What the heck is going on?" It looks really cool. I think I really want to get into it. I think I'm going to start it over from the beginning, and I'm going to try to actually just focus on it rather than not focus on it. I'm not going to tell you why I couldn't focus on it at the time, but there was reasons I just couldn't focus on it, but I really wanted to get into it. So we're going to go with Fallout. Knuckles. Is this the movie? The Sonic movie. What is this Knuckles? Is that what it is? I don't think I've seen the Knuckles Sonic movie. We're gonna go with that. We're gonna go with Fallout. I just really enjoyed Fallout. Mostly because I watched it with my girlfriend. We're sitting, and I got her into Fallout from watching it. And she really enjoyed it. She thought it is great. I think this is a fantastic show that a lot of people can get into, even if they don't like video games. I think they'll like this, and that's why I'm choosing it over some of these other ones. I think Knuckles, assuming it's talking about the movie, is another really good one because it's kind of like a family thing. Arcane, I think, is a little bit too much. It's too much of a niche audience. Gamers and anime watchers are going to like Arcane, but everyone else is going to be like, "What is this?" But I think Fallout's one because, we did have The Walking Dead and, those kind of post-apocalyptic type TV shows and movies come out. And it really got a lot of people that are not gamers on that bandwagon. I think that The Walking Dead got a lot of people that aren't into horror games and horror movies into that genre. And I think that that Fallout is another one of those that can do that. Fallout was pretty good. I loved it. I think it's fantastic. Some of the later fist fights they had, MMA fighters react to them. Oh, really? Okay. Well, I'll definitely check it out. Most anticipated game. Ooh, Death Stranding. I see Death Stranding. I'm going to choose it, by the way. I don't care what the other nominees are. I'm going to choose it. I loved Death Stranding. It is probably my favorite game of all time, and I know a lot of people don't like that. But I absolutely love it. Plus, Kojima is just like, he's... I can be wrong. It's fine. I know that a lot of people are going to disagree with me on that, and they're like, "Oh, it was just a UPS FedEx simulator. It's just a bunch of walking around." You did not play the game to the end. If you think that it's a UPS, it does have a lot of that. I literally delivered pizza in Death Stranding in the first game. I literally delivered pizza. I mean, it is a thing. You are a delivery guy. But that's the whole point of the game is the narrative of that. And then you actually open up. There's a lot of combat in there. There's a lot of things out there. I did love Ghost of Tsushima. Absolutely loved Ghost of Tsushima. And I'm so excited to see another one. So I will be playing this. Grand Theft Auto. I'm not really into Grand Theft Auto, but I have seen some videos from this game and it looks absolutely phenomenal. Like, holy moly. I can't believe what they've done with this game. Like, can you guys, like, seriously? Can anybody really, like, anyway, it looks amazing. Metroid Prime 4. I'm not excited for this game in the least. They've been trying to make Metroid Prime 4 for so long. Did they scrap it at one point? Like, I think they made a game. It was months away from announcing its release or something. And then they're like, "Oh, just kidding. We don't like it. We're going to start over from the beginning." Okay. Metroid games, I love them. I love the puzzle aspect. I love the combat aspect. I prefer a 2D Metroid game or a what do they call it? 2.5D Metroid game. I like that style over the 3D first person Metroid game. Will I play this? Probably yes. Most likely, actually, I will be playing this at some point. But I don't like this version of it. I liked Metroid Dread. I played that when it first came out, and I loved it. I really like that 2D style game more than I like the first person, really. Monster Hunter Wilds, if you're in my chat often, you know that I'm super excited and very, very anticipatory. I don't know what word I'm looking for that. I'm really looking forward to Monster Hunter Wilds. We'll be playing that a ton. But where this is different, so Grand Theft Auto and Monster Hunter Wilds, where they are different than the other ones, is because they're multiplayer and not just single player experiences. So when I look at a most anticipated game for me, I think it should be in two different categories because I love multiplayer games. I love MMORPGs. Anything that's multiplayer, I play a lot of those on my channel, and I really, really, really enjoy them. But I put them in two completely different categories. I also love a good story game, which is why I like Death Stranding. So Monster Hunter Wilds, though, is definitely something we'll be playing. I can probably guarantee we'll play all of these games. I will play all of them. Probably this is a day one, this is a day one, this is a day one. These two I will play maybe at some point. We'll see how it goes when I play them, those kind of things. You know, if I can get them free or if I can get them, you know, from a developer or whatever, if they can hand them to me, I would play those day one. Or if, you know, if they come up on like Xbox Game Pass or something along those lines, I would play, although they won't be on Xbox Game Pass because this is a Nintendo exclusive. Anyway, we're going to go Death Stranding. I've beat this one. I beat this one down. We're going to go Death Stranding before I start losing everybody. Content Creator of the Year. Well, can I do a write-in vote for myself? I can't do a write-in vote. This guy looks exactly like a friend of mine. Matt. If Matt is ever looks at this looks exactly like my friend Matt. That's crazy. I might choose him just because. And he's a typical gamer. I'm going to choose him based on he looks like my friend and he's a typical gamer. I mean, you recognize I don't either. I don't know any of these people. And honestly, I want to just hit next and skip it. Should I just skip it? But I don't know anything about him, so I can't say anything good or bad. And I don't want to say anything good or bad. You don't know any of them either. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I think these are like up and comers. Every year, these are always content creators that are up and coming that have, you know, they may have been streaming for a decade, but all of a sudden this year, people started finding out who they are a lot of times. This guy's huge, is he? I don't know anything about him. I like his beard though. I'm going to give him some beard credit for that. I don't like this right here, and this is no slight against women because I feel like this is the only one that's an actual woman. It has nothing to do with that, but it has to do with putting up a picture here that is an anime picture that looks absolutely nothing like you. If you're going to do an animated or some sort of cartoon picture, at least make it look like you, in my opinion, right? That's my opinion. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with that, but I think that your profile picture should be you, right? It should be you. Stop weight shaming. Who's weight shaming? Actual picture of me. See, I don't know. I like actual pictures, or I think I have like a cartoon picture of me in some of mine, but it looks like me. Like it's a cartoon image of me. But anyway, I'm gonna choose typical gamer just because I think I like it. I like his name. He looks like my friend Matt. We're gonna go with him. I don't know who this is. It's what they do. Oh, they fat shame that guy? Really? I disagree with that. I think that there is an issue with weight in the video game space. I do agree with that. Weight in the video game space, it's a problem, right? A lot of them do not get active, they do not get active. They don't get out. I personally like to get out, go for walks, go for bike rides. I haven't been doing it as much lately, and I need to get back on it. But I say, get out of your chair sometimes and go for a walk. You know, do that kind of thing. Drink some water. I always have a cup of water. I know this. There we go. I always have a cup of water right? Always. I may also have a soda next to me, but I always have a cup of water. I can't say 100% of the time because there are times that I forget to grab my cup of water when I come up. But I try to always have a cup of water as much as I possibly can. Best esports game. For the game that delivered the best overall esports experience to players. Tough. League of Legends has just been around so long. Dota, I always hear good things about. Valorant, not a fan. I'm just not. I never really got into it, mostly because I played Fortnite at the time when Valorant came out. And Counter-Strike, I love me some Counter-Strike, original Counter-Strike. I played that back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I loved Counter-Strike. Dude. Pokemon Unite, I don't know why Unite's not on here. I'm going to go, though, with League of Legends. I love that League of Legends has continued to make the game, like continued to grow that game. Like it's not going anywhere. It's crazy to me how it's been going on for so long from, Warcraft 3 days when they originally created it on a completely different game. And they're continuing to do that now. That is nuts. This is the defining game of the genre. It really, really is. And that's why I got to go with that one. So yeah, Pokemon Unite is a far smaller esports scene, and that's because it's exclusive to one system. I mean, that's part of the reason. Isn't it exclusive, or did they put it? No, it's on. Yeah, it's just on the Nintendo Switch, right? It's just on the Switch because it's Pokemon. So, best esports athlete. I think they need to take this word out of that, in my opinion. And I love gaming. These are not athletes, guys. These are not athletes. I mean, what's the definition of an athlete? I could go and look that up, but I just don't think that they're athletes, right? But again, I also don't think that NASCAR drivers are athletes. They're not. It does take a certain type of mental fortitude to do those kind of things, to play games competitively, to drive a NASCAR. It does take that. And in NASCAR, you do have to deal with the G-forces and all. And I understand all of that. People are going to probably just destroy me for saying this. I just don't believe that they're athletes. I think that when I think of athletic, I think of someone that's doing a physical feat that others cannot do, period. Like that just, like I think of the Olympics. That's where I think of it. And I think that if they're going to add esports into something like the Olympics, it should be called the Esport Olympics, not something completely different. Anyway, F1 people are athletes. Again, I disagree. I don't think that they're athletes. I do think that it takes a certain mental focus and a physical well-being, I guess, to be able to do those things. I do agree with that. But I don't believe that I would call them athletes. I think we need to come up with a different name for that kind of thing. Video game require agility and cognitive sharpness. And I agree. I do agree. You do have to have the agility with your hands. You do have to be able to think on the spot and very fast thinking. But I just think that we need to come up with a different name. Like just adding an E and a hyphen in front of it. So an E-athlete. That would change that, right? I feel like we should do something different. But I do agree. It takes a lot of dedication. It takes a lot of mental awareness, and there's a lot to it to make for these people to be the best of the best. I do agree with that. It's just the word athlete that gets to me. Anyway, moving on. I don't know who to choose here. Who should we? E-athlete makes sense. Yeah, I just think they need to, just change it a little bit. Who should we go with? I don't know any of these people because I don't keep up with esports that much. Faker. Okay, I can go Faker. I like his look. I like his demeanor. We'll go Faker. Sure. I'm a Faker. Okay, best esports team. Again, I don't know anything about them. What is it? Faker is this one? That's him right there? That looks like him, right? Somebody's going to flame me now and be like, wow. You think all Asians look alike? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure that from the previous picture, that looks literally like him. Like with the way, his demeanor and his glasses, like all that kind of stuff. It's funny that 3 of these guys are wearing glasses, but this guy's wearing glasses here. Oh, and this guy is too. Okay, never mind. He's on T1. See, I was right. I was right. We're going to go with that. All right. Voting is over. That's what we're going to go with. 3 rounds, 3 chances to vote. I'm not going to do it 3 times probably. I'm just going to do it once. I'll go with the guys with the trophy, right? Exactly. I like that. I like the guys with the trophy. They obviously are good because they won. Unless that's like second place trophy, in which case I wouldn't know. But yeah, those are my votes. I think, I honestly think a lot of those are probably going to be correct. And I can't wait to see what they are. I will be streaming it live when we do this is December 12th, I believe. So I will do my very, 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 very best to stream that live. And we can comment on it and talk about it and see what we do. I will say, I'm going to throw it out there. I did get in what year was that? 2020? What year did what was that family game that I played with Burl? And I literally said halfway through the game, this is the game of the year. Period. End of story. And I nailed it. I got game of the year. Like, this was literally when the game came. It Takes Two. Thank you, Az. Thank you. It Takes Two. I called that game as I was playing it on stream, and I had no doubts in my mind. No doubts in my mind. So we'll see what happens this year with those are my votes. They're out there now. We all know what they are. Anyway, that's going to be it for the voting side